Forget about the limitations. Today we bring you, along with the patron and her wisdom and soul's cleverness, our partner, the ultimate guide to turning any PC into a powerful tool for technicians. We're going to install Windows PE directly on an internal drive, right, patron? Of course. And I promise you, you'll never want to use another maintenance solution. Are you ready for this ultimate Windows? Let's get started, Madruna.
Good evening, Victor. How are you, partner? I love that energy. Welcome to this tutorial. Today, I'll show you how to take your Windows PE environment to the next level. The idea is to install it directly on the internal storage of any PC, whether it's a laptop or a desktop. But that's not all. We'll also be using professional-level tools like HD, Clone Pro, to make the process a piece of cake. Get your PC ready to become an elite diagnostic environment.
Transform your PC into a technical and professional diagnostic center. It's what everyone is waiting for, right? Yes? All right, guys, let's get started with this. Since many of us want to reach for the sky, especially those of us who work in support. Technician, you know? Let's prepare the environment directly. I'm going to leave all the files in our Discord forum, okay? So you don't ask me, hey Victor, where did you get that? It gives you a scare. The other tools, everything will be in the Discord forum, okay? And also other utilities. Let's go here. To our start button, I'm going to go over to our file explorer. And I already have everything downloaded here, okay? It's going to be a super tutorial because I'm not just giving you an ISO. I'm going to give you another ISO of programs. Thanks and credits to Letritas Rusas, to the good admin, to our friend we, the admin, and also to the tester, Jesus. Okay? For these incredible tools, since he did most of the work, and well, that's it here. We're adding that flavor so you can learn how to use them and implement them in your daily life. Look, we have portable programs here, the ISO I just mentioned, which everyone already knows, and we have two VHDs, but they're not just any VHDs. We have a VHTX, or a VHD to be more precise, in GPT format for EFI compatible BIOS of the latest generation. And we have another VHD compatible with the latest generation, Legacy BIOS. And we have a zip file so you can implement it with certain instructions from the terminal that our good friend Jesus also prepared. I'm going to right-click and I'm going to click on Extract. Let's extract it. And here we have certain instructions that you can follow to prepare your environment. Obviously, it can't get more hands-on than this. More instructions, easier than this. I don't think you'll find another video on the internet like this, at least not in Spanish. I'm going to close it. Okay? Ready? Let's first try the ISO. The magnificent thing, guys, I'm going to right-click. I'm going to click on Properties. It only weighs 660 megabytes. Huh? It doesn't weigh more? I'm going to click here on Accept. Portable programs, because they are portable, I'm going to click here. Also, in Properties, it weighs the same, 656 megabytes. So it fits in what it used to a long time ago. A Windows, it doesn't fit, right? On a CD guys come on of 700 megabytes. If you want to use a 4.5 gigabyte DVD, you can do that too. But you can also boot from USB with the different tools you want. There's Ventoy, and we also have a 1-minute short on how to implement it through what is Ventoy. You can use Rufus, ACID boot, or any booting tool you prefer. Okay? It's done. Watch out. When you prepare the USB, you're going to put these two on that flash drive. Okay? In case you want to run it offline. Now, do you want to run it internally on your disk? Well, we're going to have to clone one of these, depending on the equipment you have. With a tool called HD Clone. A legendary tool that we have on the channel. Different videos that you're watching right now. With different methodologies, from cloning an operating system, from implementing it on external storage. Like also making a portable Windows Type 2 Go. Really, these videos, this range of possibilities. Now we're going to introduce you to one more tool on how to implement it on that low resource machine. Because that's the idea. Or, as we said, your lab. Superman, so that it can make good diagnostics. Ready? Without further ado, guys, Let's start by testing the ISO and see how it looks. Okay. As I said, you can do this with Ventoy, and that's what I recommend the most. If you don't know how to create your USB with Ventoy, I'm leaving it down here in the video description or pinned in the comments is that tutorial video for you to check out. It's 1 minute. Guys, that's it. All right, let's test it. I'm going to close this and let's see how it looks. Let's go. All right, friends, let's get started with this. I almost forgot an important detail. Let's go here to what is the File Explorer. Let's go to Downloads, and there's another additional file that needs to be downloaded. It's called htclone, and it's our faithful companion. Also, to be able to do all the methodology that I'm going to teach you for this, I'm going to right-click. Let's click on Extract All. Let's click on Extract. There we have it. Let's close the window. Let's double-click, please. 2 clicks. And we're going to run the one that says Chromedex. We right-click and run as administrator. We say yes. We minimize. Next, next, next. Is installed? Installing. Install. Perfect. Now that we have our htclone properly installed. It's an old version, but it works, guys. In 5.14, you're also going to find this in our disk group. We check this option and click Finish. Perfect. Now I'm going to rely on a super ally for everything we do. This type of technical support and also high-profile virtualization environments, especially on the technical side. And I'm going to rely on a virtualization creator called Hyper-V. Let me introduce it to you if you don't know it. It's been a while since we used and called this tool, right? We had focused a lot on what Bing is, but also to not lose the traditional aspect. Hyper-V is, despite being a native hypervisor for Pro Education and Pro Enterprise versions. And for Workstation and also for Windows Server, it's really good for testing operating systems. All right, I invite you to keep that in mind. Similarly, if you don't know how to do it, I'm going to leave a complete playlist down below in the video description. I divided it into 2 scenarios. One that will only cover the EFI ecosystem. In fact, I'm going to put this further down. We've already arranged that. And the other in Legacy ecosystem for old machines. Here you can see it. Legacy generation means generation 1. And generation FI, generation 2. Let's see how it performs in each of the 2 scenarios. Let's remember that here, in our folder, I'm going to go to Downloads. We have 2 ISOs. We have what's called Windows 10, PI, or Owicron, plus the portable programs. These 2 go directly onto your pen drive, on your USB that you've prepared with Ventoy. Just like I told you, I'm leaving it in the video description, 2 1-minute shorts, so you can see how to use them and how you'll be able to copy them directly to your pen drive and make it bootable. If you don't want to do it through a virtualization environment, or good practice, I'm going to mount this first in the API ecosystem, and let's see how it works and how it looks. It's really going to look the same. Nothing more, the boot process changes a bit in the dynamics of a little bit on the visualization part. I'm going to minimize. Let's go to the API, right-click. I'm going to set it up. Then I'm going to load what is my disk drive, the WinP, and here in the firewall part. I'm going to have it ready to boot up. I'm going to click Accept. Let's give it 2 clicks here. I'm going to minimize, and we're going to start our environment. Excellent. Once this window appears, you let it auto-configure automatically, because it's already detecting to install a small driver and network adapter driver. So you can navigate from this Windows PE without any issues. We have the same setup as if it were a complete Windows, in quotes, our files to extract information, to be able to copy it, and also make a small backup on a certain bootable drive using RAM. We can store some information here, but this is volatile. This is not automatically saved when you shut down your computer and restart it. Since it's all new, it resets completely. We're going to click on it here in Owicron, also in the Start button section. If you click on it here and go to the Properties section, you'll see which protocol we're running it under. Here it is. It's a bootnet in model in UEFI or UEFI mode for next generation equipment ecosystems. What is Windows PE useful for? Recovering a file or recovering drives or on equipment that are in bad shape, in poor condition, where you can't access the system, resetting it, cloning it, rescuing some important information due to that pesky blue screen of death that Microsoft gives us with some error, whether it's due to a driver issue, an update, or a system reset. It can be a lot of things. That's why I tell you it's a tool for technicians. So, that's it. How do we add the portable programs? You would automatically need to go to mount that ISO on your USB drive. In my case, I'm going to do it as an example. I'm going to click here on File, Configure. I'm going to put in another disk drive to directly simulate my environment. I'm going to click here on the DVD drive. We add image file. Let's examine. And I'm going to the downloads where the portable programs are. Open. It's done. I apply. I accept. And here we will be able to have the programs I mentioned to you. I'm going to right click and we're going to click on open. We have different utilities. Let's go here to drive 0. We have a 7-zip for decompression. We have a Google Chrome. We're going to the back part. You're also going to have how to install the Windows part with different applications. Starting with making an HD clone, which is what I'm going to teach you to do right now. And it's super easy. Being able to boot a drive of any ISO. You download with this Windows Rescue PD. You can boot it with Rufus. You can also use Win2HD to inject it directly into the internal disk. Win2USB to inject it through an external drive. This is internal, external. A WinNT setup is also good, just like the Ether part, which is basically the same as Rufus. They have different tools and, as I said, utilities. Setup boot. That's also very good for the BIOS part and to set up a certain bootloader protocol. Okay, I'm going to the back part. Partition manager, we also have Minitool partition, which is like our task manager, or rather the disk manager that we have in our start button in normal boot. Minitool partition can be useful for you. What else is there? Information recovery, that is, so that in this case, if the disk is changed and does not let you see it at 100%, you can rescue it through word share recovery or whatever. The AC data recovery, so you can also recover information and data lost due to formatting or simply because it doesn't recognize the partition, you can recover it with this application. Diagnostic tools, we have different ones for the CPU part, the crystal disk to see the health of your storage drive, your hard drive, or external drives. Everything that completes the storage disk part, regardless of whether they are HDDs, SSDs, or NVMe. So, here you have different applications for the correct diagnosis of your hardware. Removing passwords, that's right. If you forgot your Windows password, or the client can't remember their login password, with these two applications, these two utilities, you can reset it without deleting any information and without compromising the system's stability. These permissions are good so that you can give exactly a certain folder, directory site, and you would like to copy, remove, or delete, and it does not allow you to do so. In a way, using the same system, when using this through Windows P, as we have the computer offline, you can force to be able to have those permissions of an administrative auto root. It's really great that you check it out. It's definitely worth it. License backup is something many people also ask for before formatting a machine, before reinstalling a Windows update, because they don't want to risk getting a zero restriction. Or when they do an update, they want to have that backup, and this application provides that. What we have in terms of the product, especially regarding our Windows, our Office, and everything related to the licensing system that is compatible with this small portable application. Let's go back to VHD. In this application, we have the list plus, MESAM, plus to be able to read the VHD, and we can have or create and install .win. We have the ability to mount and install a VHD directly here in Windows PE and then clone it to our external drive using the tools we have, as well as what we have with ImageGX. As you can see, that's why it was separated. My good friend, Letrita Rufus, thought it through very well, separating the part of the PE system to allow you to boot, and then add this independently, in case you want to use it for a project on its own. So, it's very well thought out. We've already seen that it's excellent. As I said, give it a try. Test it out, check it. But now it's cool, right, Victor? We already did this in a portable way. But lastly, if you want to talk about the external drive, how do I do it? How do I visualize it? Let's take a look. But before visualizing, let's see if it really boots normally when I set it to BIOS mode or legacy compatibility. Okay? I'm going to turn this computer off now. Let's turn it off. And let's move on to the next one. Perfect. The next one is this one we have here for legacy. Right click, setup. Let's go over to the DVD drive. Let's take a look. And we're going to select the same WinP that we already have. The naming convention doesn't change here. Remember, that's why it's really good and valid that you booted this directly with Ventoy. With Rufus, you need to set the desired configuration. If you're using Rufus, remember that you have to select the GPT partition table. And if it's for legacy or traditional normal BIOS is partitions, MBR. Very well. That's why I don't get too confused. I might as well just go in and get it over with. We have it here. We click on accept. We double click. I'm going to minimize and we're going to start the computer. It's done. Once we click here on OK, you select how you want to connect to the internet. If you notice, it has different protocols. One through UTP cable network, another through Wi-Fi, and another through proxy type. So you can index directly from your network or network protocol. As I said, it opens the same way. We have all the features. We can see some things that we already have in here that you can use or might find interesting. Okay? Same. For that, we segment or separate what comes next, being the portable applications. It's done. Well, that's it. We've already seen that it opens the same way. Exactly the same. Here, if you go to the properties section, it will tell you that we are in mode. BIOS in legacy mode with inherited request. So you already saw that it meets the objective here, so it works for both. It works in EFI mode and traditional BIOS mode. Ready. I'm going to close this. Let's get started. And let's click on shutdown. Now, let's move on to the boot part. What happens if I want to install my Windows P on my internal disk? Let's get started. All right, friends, let's go straight to the start. I'm going to my File Explorer. And here you'll notice that I already have a disk with the EFI partition table, and it's in GPT topology. And here, in MBR, which is the traditional BIOS, in each of these, I'm going to clone my VHD directly. I'm leaving you here in the part also 2 VHDs that you can choose, the one you're going to put directly on the machine. You know, EFA for modern machines. We're talking about machines that came pre-installed with Windows 8.1 and above in WFI. And what we have here is GPT. MBR, for older machines, a very clear example, would be Windows 7 and below. Okay? That way you won't get lost. Let's mount the EFI first and see how it goes. We right-click and we're going to mount it directly on our machine. I'm assuming you're going to do this directly from a machine that you already have prepared. If you didn't have it, you already know. You can boot the Windows P unit on your external disk from the new event and copy the VHDs. And you expand it. Then, within the portable tools that I provided you independently, the HD clone allows you to clone directly onto the internal hard drive of the machine, whether it's a laptop or a desktop, so you don't have to remove the storage unit, whether it's an SSD, NVMe, or mechanical hard drive, and put it in another computer. If you want to do it, you can do it, as I'm going to show you right now, and if not, you can do it with the following alternative. Now, well guys, we are technicians. You set the limit. You can do it in many mixes and many flavors. I just gave you the grandpa's cooking recipe. Very well. How would we do it the old-fashioned way? All right. So, by doing this, it opened up automatically here. I'm going to click here on Start. Another drive has been mounted there. And look, very well. I'm going to minimize this part. I'm going to open my HD clone, right-click. I'm going to run it with administrator privileges. I say yes. And here we have it. Let's go ahead and click directly on Drive. And we're going to select previously the one that weighs more, because here I have a bootable drive that's almost 100 gigabytes. So this is the main one, the VHD that we just mounted, which is this drive number 4. Since I don't know if you're going to right-click on the Start button I'm going to the disk management. I'm going to the bottom part. Here it shows as 99 gigabytes, disk 3. But remember that here in the HD clone, it does not have the 0. So it would be 1, 2, 3, and 50. Okay, let's minimize. So let's select this one that we just mounted. We're going to click next. And now which one do I choose from here? Which one is the EFI, Victor? So if I told you that this is 0, 1, 2, 3, then this one is going to be. You don't believe me? Let's confirm it again. And here we see it. It would be 1, 2. That's the EFI. Because they both have the same capacity, if you notice. It would be difficult to identify them, but also here I'm going to minimize when I select this disk. See the type of partition table it has. GPT, EFI. If I select 3, it's MBR. MBR is Legacy, BIOS, and GPT is EFI. So we're going to select this one because we're going to put it under its environment. We click on Next. Don't move a single hair on the HD clone. Click Next and click Continue. Continue and be with. Let's wait. Super quick in the PS files, we click on Automatic. And then click here on Close. We're not going to anything else. It's going to close your cloned HD. We click Yes. And just to avoid confusion, we go back to the Explorer. We're going to eject this VHD. We click Eject, and we also eject our local disk E. So there are no issues. And I'm just going to stay with the BIOS, but for the BIOS, I can't clone the same one, because otherwise we'd be converting it to EP. So we go to Downloads, and now we're going to mount the other one, which was the MBR. We right-click, click on Mount, and already it up. And there it is. Okay, we're going to close this part, Vacuum, and open our cloned HD, right-click, Run as Administrator. We say yes, and here we have the one we just mounted. It's number 2. We click Next, and we're going to clone it to the other one, which is lower. Next, we click Next, Continue, Continue, and Start Copy. Perfect. We click here on Automatic, and then on Close. It's done. We click here to close. We click Yes. We go back to our Explorer, Files, and eject the used drives. Eject and eject. Will it really work? Of course it's going to work. Let's close this. I'm going straight to my Hyper-V and we're going to have the EFI. Let's test it first. But hey, does it work, Victor? Sure. I'm going to right-click, go to Settings, and I'm even going to remove the drives I have here so you can see that it's going to boot from where? From our unit that we have here. We click on Apply. It's done. Accept. And the reader drives have been removed from my EFI ecosystem. You see? There's no reader drive, so I can't run through the ISO to avoid any tricks on you. Here in Legacy, right-click, Settings. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to remove the DVD drive here. We click Remove, Apply, Accept, and now Legacy also can't operate through a disk or an ISO type. It's only going to boot from the disk we have. We click Accept. We double-click previously on the EFI. I'm going to minimize. And let's see if this really works. Here, as I said, guys, no, it didn't boot, Victor. It doesn't work. No, it does work. I missed a parameter. Stop, disconnect, file, settings, and we go here to the Fragua part. Remember that in the EFI part, we always have to order it. I want to boot from the network, so it won't be able to. I want to boot from here, from the disk. I'm going to apply. I'm going to accept and start. How did it blow your mind? There it goes, friends, and it's already running from the internal disk of our machine. There you can see it. We have the Senda GB, and we can manipulate it without any problem. We have Task Manager, folks. Check the consumption. This is something that can be done. As I said, it's what we want as technicians. Just like that, you would have a native machine dedicated to running tests, to be able to do the cloning, to extract information in case of any disaster or mishap with your computer or your clients. Ready. Oh, Victor, well, okay, everything is just perfect, right? Of course, because that's how it is. And we're giving you the tools in the zip. If we go here to my folder in the Explorer, and you go to Downloads, here you have everything ready to run the terminal, and even create yours based on this template if you want, Or if not, study how we're leaving it for you. It couldn't be easier, folks. Right-click Properties. You have exactly the same thing. Exactly the same. I'm going to shut down. I'm going to turn off the machine. And let's go run the MBR one. Let's open our Hyper-V again. Let's open what is Legacy. 2 clicks. Let's minimize. I'm going here, File, Configure, here. I don't need to set the boot drive. Why? Because in this case, I'll have to start, well, from a certain adapter ID, which is the disk. If you want, you can upload it in any case. But it would have to start automatically because here, the strict order isn't as important as in EFI, where it absolutely has to start exactly where the Windows Boot Manager or the Boot Manager is. Here in Legacy, it's a different story. We apply, accept you, and start. There you have it. It works perfectly. And it's already directly on the internal storage disk of that machine. Transfer this to a physical machine. It's exactly the same methodology. Exactly the same. Therefore, Legacy is going to consume a little less, but overall, yes, we're talking about portability, it's Windows PI. So, the performance and everything that it is. We don't have the issue of service saturation because it's the boot medium we have within our Windows. To be able to recover them, restore them, clone them, whatever you want, is what we all wanted, guys. And right now, it's one of the standout gems because it's built on the core of Windows 10 Enterprise. Hey, I want 11? Well, we're talking about a machine. It's a rescue system. A system for technicians. What do you think? Did it seem like that? Do you like it? I think so. Hey, so Victor, is it done? Can I put my ISO here? Can I mount the ISO directly? Yes, you can do it. Very good. Explore files. And here it is. To be able to open my utilities. Straight ahead. We copy. You can copy it there. Well, in this case, it would be here, the X, or rather here. And here you can paste them. There it is. And you no longer need the reader unit. Now you run everything from there. Now we can say that we have a complete PI with all the portable applications. You saw what I did? Ah, Victor, so since it's on the local disk, I've already installed it. In theory, when I copy everything. On this disk, nothing gets deleted. Not like the PI disk where everything we do gets erased every time it restarts. Here are the applications. They didn't get deleted at all. Alright guys, what did you think? Crazy, right? Well, I'm going to leave you in good hands to wrap up this video tutorial. This time, my partner and colleague Sol will explain more details to you. Thank you guys.
What an honor. Victor, I'm ready to wrap up the tutorial with a bang. You can use this environment for maintenance, data recovery, or even advanced diagnostics. It's a definitive solution for technicians like you. If this tutorial helped you, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like. Also, tell me in the comments how you would incorporate this ultimate Windows PE into your daily routine. And if you want more content like this, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything. See you in the next video.